Greetings, fellow artistes, and welcome to another episode of You Saw It, Now Draw It. My name is Scott Gabala-Broxome, and I'm a children's illustrator, author, and caricaturist. And today, I'm going to show you how to draw a kitten. A few interesting facts about kittens here before we get started. Kittens can't see or hear for 2 or 3 weeks after they're born, but their eyes do open after 1 week. They sleep around 18 hours a day. Even newborn kittens can purr. They have a strong sense of smell. Interesting, kittens and cats can be left or right-pawed, just like humans could be left or right-handed. A kitten's whiskers are actually as long as their body is wide. And all kittens are born with blue eyes. And it will change to different colors at around 8 weeks of age. But all of them start with blue eyes. And they have 26 teeth. A full-grown cat has 30, but kittens start with 26. All right, let's get going on this cute, adorable kitten. We're going to look for the shapes first, and then we're going to add the details. So, shapes first. Let's start with that head. Cover up the body, cover up the ears. What shape do you see for this head? Well, kind of a circle, kind of an oval, but I think the best way to do this would probably be a circle, but with a different part at the bottom. What we're going to do is we'll start here, right here at the top of the head. We're going to forget about the ears for a second. What we're going to do is we'll bring around the head like this. But when we get around, instead of the oval or the circle coming around, we're going to dip down a little bit like this. Okay. Next, what we'll do is we will put the ears on. So we'll go right up to this part here, right in the top of the head, right in the middle. We're going to move a little bit over to the left, to the right rather of middle, a little over to the right, and we're going to draw a line that comes up like this, around a little bit, round it off, and then we're going to bring it back down to the head. All right. The thing is, don't go too high, or it's going to look like a bunny rabbit, isn't it? But with a kitten, the ears are pretty big. So we'll go back to the center, the top of the head. We're going to move over a little bit, and this time we'll draw the other one that comes up like this, round, and we'll bring it back down to the side of the head like that. Okay, let's do this first. What we're going to do is, where we curved around here, draw a straight line coming down like this. And then erase that curve inside there. Okay. Next, what we'll do is we'll go to the bottom here in the chin. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up just a little ways like this. And what we're going to do when we come up, we're going to draw, what shape is that nose? 3 sides. A triangle, right? We'll come up here, we'll draw the pointy part of the triangle here, like a flattened out letter V, and then we'll bring a straight line across. At the bottom of this triangle, bring a little number 1 halfway up, and then bring a little number 1 coming underneath it too. At the bottom of this number 1, we're going to draw 2 diagonal lines coming out for the mouth, like this. Like that. Then we're going to come up here. What we're going to do is, let's put some eyes in here. Perhaps the easiest way to do that would be, let's go to the points of the nose here, right here. What we're going to do is we're going to draw a line that comes up. I'm not drawing a straight line, though. it's coming out slightly out at an angle. So instead of this, it's coming a little bit like that, isn't it? Gets a little wider here at the eyes. So when we get up about here, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle right around here. We're going to come over here and do the same thing. For now, we're going to start with a circle. Okay. Now from that circle, looks like we've got 2 points. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around this circle. We get to the other side, we're going to put a little point right there. We're going to come down that circle. We get to the end, we're going to touch the nose like that. That'll give us the second point. Around this eye up to a little bit of a point. Come down and touch the nose like that. So already we've got those cat's eyes, don't we? Inside the eye, I know this seems like a detail, but for now, if you can see it during the daytime, a cat's eyes are very thin, almost like a number 1. In this case, it's like a very skinny, upside down or football on its end. Very skinny, almost looks like a little leaf inside each one. Okay, let's leave the head for now for the shapes. Let's do the body and we'll get back for some details. On this head, I see the shoulder coming out just a little bit. So we're going to go to the chin. We're going to come up here a little ways, right about the same level with the nose. If we could draw a straight line across there, that's about where the shoulder would start. We're going to bring this down. Bring it down right about... What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure top to bottom of the head. One head, so it doesn't come down 2 heads. So one head. All right, so right about here, if I come down here and stop before I get to that lower line, what did I just do? Oh my gosh. Well, I measured with my fingers, steady as I could, and I brought down, so it was one head there, and I came down here. So the legs are a little bit shorter than 2 heads down. So if I measured top to bottom of the head, came here, that's where the first head would be, came down here, the line would be just above here for where the bottoms of the paws would be, isn't it? Okay. Well, this line that we brought down here doesn't go all the way to that line, because what we have to do is, when we stop, we have to curve it around, bring it around like this, and up a little bit. So it's kind of like a C that comes around but keeps on going a little ways at an angle. Because this line here is where this other paw is going to be. But before we do that, let's go back to this. We're going to bring it up about halfway and stop. All right. We're going to move over here. The easiest way to do this would be to draw the other shoulder. So we're going to come underneath here. We're going to draw a curved line that comes out like this and back in like this and stop. Before we get to that line, we're going to bring a kind of like a rounded sort of a letter C on its side or a U. Bring that around and bring that halfway up and stop. We can only go about halfway right here. Actually, I think I made my paw a little bit too small, so I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And because this paw is a little bit closer, a little bit farther out to us, this one is a little bit farther back. That's why this one is farther down, isn't it? Okay. Let's come down the back here a little bit. We're going to stop, and this time we're going to bring a curved line that comes down like this. We're going to stop. It's going to be shorter. We have to get that tail in there. So what we're going to do is, let's bring a line that comes down like this. I know I sort of ran out of space on the picture, but what if we do this, we'll draw another line that comes up, and we'll just round it off like that. final thing we have is, this is actually, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a back leg that comes down like this. So what we're going to do is, let's come up this one leg here, halfway up. We're going to skip over right here, and we're going to draw a curved line that comes around like this and back in before we draw sort of a jelly bean shape over to the side here. So what did I do? Halfway up the leg here, I skipped over this front leg, and I drew this curved line that comes over and touches the back, comes back in before I drew this jelly bean oval shape to the side. Okay. A couple more shapes and then we can go right into the details. Let's go into this paw. Let's do this paw right here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 little marks, which is probably where the claws would be. So I'm going to put a little number 1 there, a second number 1, a third one that kind of curves around, and a fourth one like that. This paw over here to the left, I can see a very faint one over here, another one here. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just draw it and I'll show you. I've got a curved one here, another one over here next to it. Then I skip over here and I see a curved one here and another one next to that like that. This paw here, I see a curved one here. I see another one here and one very close to it here. So one here, second one here, third one over here, and very faintly a fourth one over there. Okay, cats actually have 5 toes, but here we can only see this from the picture. All right. Between these here, what I want you to do is draw a line that curves down like that. This is this part right here. And we can actually erase this like that. So we're getting there. All right, let's get some details into this cat here. First of all, let's go back to the face. What I want you to do is, we've got 1, 2, 3 rows of dots where the whiskers are coming out. So over here to the nose, right next to the nose, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. I see 5 of them in a row. The next row here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it wouldn't even be 6. And there's a very thin row underneath it. Do the same thing on the other side. Don't worry if it's not 5 or 6. If you put in 3 or 4, that's fine too. All right, let's add some whiskers. And the whiskers have to come out pretty long, don't they, like this? But don't draw them too dark. See how I'm making them very light? Because you can hardly see them here, so we want to make sure that they're light in the picture. Okay, on these cat's eyes, let's make a thicker line around the eyes like this. See how it's darker around the eyes here? Let's do that. Won't make the cat look like, or the kitten look like it's staring out at you quite so much. Okay. Now in the ears, what we've got here, what we're going to do is take your pencil and we're going to draw a line very close to the edge of it. Come around like this, come back in, and it actually bends in a little bit there. Goes in a little bit and out like that. So what did I just do? Come up like this, turn it around, come around like this, come in a little bit and back out and down. Same thing on the other side, isn't it? Come up like this, around, halfway on the other side, we're going to come in a little bit and back and down. Then, very lightly, I see some lines for the fur in the ears. We're going to do this lightly too. Same thing over here, going in the opposite direction. So the hairs here are going in this direction. The hairs over here are going in this direction, aren't they? All right. Now, fur on a cat or on any animal. When you're putting fur, you don't want to put the fur coming down like this because it's going to look like a porcupine, isn't it? Fur is layered. It kind of curves in like this, but it's not all straight lines. If you look at this, some of them are sticking out a little bit, some are like this. So if you do them as different directions like this looks more like fur than even this does, and certainly like this. Okay? We're doing this. So let's work down the side of the cat. I'm making them at an angle. They're going like this, aren't they? At a diagonal. But they're close together, so we'll bring them down like this. Already that looks more like fur. The fur coming down this side of the leg would go this direction like this, at an angle, just like this. So let's bring that down like that. What direction do you think the back would be? Would it be this or this, going down the back? This one, right? Okay, let's do that. There was a little bit of fur sticking out like that, so I brought that out a little bit. How about the tail? Now, what would the tail be? Well, the tail going this direction would have to be like this. Underneath it would be like this. So we're doing this, right? Underneath it would be going like this. The inside leg here would be this. How about this leg here? Is it this one or this one? Right in here. This one, isn't it? All right. Going around here, we would bring it in this direction like this. The face, we'll bring it around like this. And then let's finish it off with some stripes. There's some beautiful markings on the cat here. So what I'm going to do is, right above here, it's kind of interesting. It looks like two letter V's, doesn't it? V1 and V2 with a space between them. Because what we can do with these upside down V's, I should say, is we're going to shade them in. Take your pencil, bring them up like this. Kind of look like eyebrows almost. And then if you can, take your pencil and make some. What I'm doing here is I'm making a line, but I'm kind of putting a few lines together for the shading coming down here. There's a little bit over here. It's darker on the top of the head, so I can shade that in. See the markings on the face? Underneath the eye, if we draw a curved line underneath each one of these eyes, and then there's another curved line coming off of it, like this, let's do the same thing. Put a few lines together. Bring this one over like this. I see some very lightly, some fur at an angle like this. Fur at an angle like this in the forehead, like this. So we're getting there. Okay. And then inside here, what I see here is sort of loops, like underneath the neck here. I see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and scribble it back and forth, just like this, up and down. Up and down and up and down and up and down. So what I'm going to do is go up and down underneath the chin a little bit, like this. Then I'm going to move down here a little bit, up and down and up and down. Comes up a little bit here, down, up and down and up and down, like this. All right, I'm going to stop for just a moment or two to give you a chance to catch up here. All right, this one is very thin. What I see here, it comes down, this one down, around, up and down. There's another one here that just comes over a little bit. Another one that comes down, right? A thicker one, very, very thick, comes over like this. There's another one at a diagonal, another one here. I'll give you a chance to catch up. Okay. Again, I'm just looking for the shapes. I'm shading in, putting these lines like shapes, aren't I? Same thing. Over here, let's go underneath the one here we just did. We've got one that goes down and up. There's another one over here that kind of goes zigzag, up, down, up, like that. There's another one over here. Another one, this one here is down at a diagonal. There's another one here. A few smaller ones. Well, we could just keep going with this, couldn't we? And you could. You're welcome to. There's some lighter ones here that I see coming in like this at a diagonal. It's a shorter one here, another one over here. But the more we put, that really does look softer, doesn't it? More like the cat has fur as opposed to this really sharp line that we've got. Well, let's finish off our kitten with a shadow. You can actually see the shadow underneath here. So what we're going to do underneath here, we're going to shade this in like this. We're going to stop there. I see a little shadow coming out from underneath the paw here. Put that. There's another shadow. It's a little hard to see, just underneath the paw like that. There's another one coming right out here like this. And there's a short one underneath the tail here too. And the tail is a darker color, and you can shade that in later yourself. Oh, one last thing, the eyes. Let's go back to these skinny leaf football shapes here. Top half of them, put a circle inside it if you can. If you made it big enough. So what I'm doing with the eyes, if I draw this eye here like this, be able to see this. Shape is in here like this, so I put the little circle at the top of that right there. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to fill the rest of the eye underneath that circle. I'm going to darken just that skinny leaf shape underneath there like that. Now look at that already. Doesn't that look like the eyes are more alive? Because we put that little white circle was the highlight, the reflection of the lights in the cat's eyes. And you could darken the nose. I just keep going with this too, don't I? Shading in the nose. It's a little bit darker as it comes up like this. But there we go. We've got our kitten. How did you do? I'm sure you did an amazing job. I'm sure you did. So keep on sketching. And until next time, draw some awesome pictures.